Hi Gemini, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth and I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot reader. This Gemini is your love reading for the month of March. I'm going to draw 6 cards, each relating to a certain aspect or energy in the month of March. I've already shuffled and meditated. I'll do a little bit more of that on camera and then we'll get started. Okay, my darlings. Let's have a look. So this is your Tree of Life reading based on the first 6 emanations of the Tree of Life. Sephiroth, they are called. And this is number 1, relating to your overall energy or focus for the month of March in love, and that is the Chariot. Okay, so I mentioned this last time, I think it was to you guys, and a few other videos actually. I've done a video about the number 7s in my Key Wisdom playlist, so check that video out, and it's also a corresponding post on my Instagram and Facebook. Okay, Chariot energy. So overall energy for this month, excellent. Okay, so this is actually how similar to that. So it's a number 7 on the Tree of Life is actually endurance. Okay, and it's really a challenge that we must endure in order to find our stability and in order to find our authenticity as well, okay, and security. So we've got the Chariot, number 7. This is brilliant. This is you actually going through this month trying to have a balance between your internal emotions and how you're feeling. It's Pisces season, don't forget, and also the actions that you're taking on the outside. Now, I said this in your last reading to the earth signs. I know it's hard for you guys at the moment because you're dealing with a lot of deep-seated, deep emotions that you have not looked at, that you don't consider really having any sort of impact on your life. Well, actually, they do, and obviously the Chariot really emphasizes that. So yes, you might be things might be coming up for you this month from beneath the surface. You know, Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces on the 5th. Read the description box below for a full breakdown. Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces on the 5th. So Mercury, planet of communication, Pisces, emotion, communicating our emotions, but it's retrograde backwards. So we're looking within. We're looking at our past. We're looking at our past relationships, our past situations, how we used to feel. That's coming up to the surface for you, and actually it needs to come up to the surface for you because there needs to be a balance between your intellect, your logic, your reasoning, and the emotions, and how that links to your experiences, your emotional experiences. That's what this energy is about, and it's victorious if we can do that. If we can balance those two things, if we can recognize that there is a connection between our thoughts, our actions, and our intuition, our emotion, and our past experiences that have made us feel a certain way, if we can acknowledge that there's a link between those two, that leads to balance and stability and to victory, okay, for you guys in the month of March. So let's look at the next energy. The next energy is what or who you could encounter in the month of March when it comes to love, and that is number 8. So we've got 7 of the Chariot, and then we've got the 8 of Pentacles. So interestingly, the the Pentacle energy is related to the earth signs. So if this is a who you could encounter, it could be a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn, an earth sign, or it could be somebody from work. You know, there could be some sort of interaction, romantic stuff going on between yourself and somebody at work. If it's a what you're encountering, this is about you, refining yourself. It's about you, it's literally this energy, but doing the work on it. So it's like recognizing that you're not listening to your intuition. Let me say that again. For example, recognizing that when it comes to love, you do not follow your intuition. So that is something that you put energy and effort into working on this month when it comes to love. So for example, if you are in a relationship and you think that this is not what I'm picking up on. I'm just giving an example, okay? If you're in a relationship and you think, for example, that you're being cheated on, or that your partner's not being honest with you, for example, and you have that feeling, but you don't say anything about it, that's the imbalance of the Chariot. Number 8 saying, this is you listening to your intuition and trusting it. This is you saying, okay, well, I've got this feeling that this is what's going on. So I've got to trust that I'm not a crazy person and that actually I do have valid reasons for feeling the way I feel. Listen to your intuition, okay? For example, that could be, but it's working on yourself. I mean, and it's really, it's carrying on with this message here of, this is linked actually. It's carrying on this message here of, having a link and a connection, understanding the link and connection between your external actions and your internal emotions and feelings. Fear. I don't know, this is the 4th reading today, and this has been in every single reading that I've done. Okay, so, and I'm not surprised, because obviously it is, as I said, Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces on the 1st. So we're all looking back, we're all thinking back, because Venus enters Aquarius on the 1st. So we're all looking back this month. We're all thinking back to our emotions, how we felt before, how we used to handle things. It could be that someone does come back from the past, or there's a conversation with somebody that you knew from the past. Doesn't have to be a lover, but that conversation again makes you feel like you used to feel before the work, before the years or the months that have passed since you last saw that person. So we are trying our best to work through our fears of the hurt that we've faced before. And really the only way that we can work through that fear that we're feeling, that we're facing, is by acknowledging that fear is there. First of all, this is active with it being number 9. You've got to acknowledge that you're having these feelings of fear when it comes to commitment, or when it comes to being single, whatever your situation is, for example. And it's this fear that you need to work through. That's if it's a what. As I said, if it's a who, it could be someone that you meet at work, okay? Someone that you meet at work and you're not sure if it's going to work out, so you're afraid of that. But you've got to be true to yourself. You've got to be true to yourself, and you've got to listen to your intuition if that's the situation for you, okay? Next energy is your perspective or your past. So really where you are coming from. And that energy, wow, okay, so we've got a new beginning here. So for some of us, it could be you're in a new situation. You're newly single, or you're newly married, or you're newly committed. And that situation is in itself what scares you. You're not sure how much of yourself to reveal, how much of yourself to allow your partner to see. Or if you're single, for example, it might be that you're not sure how to be single. You've not been single for years, or it's new to you. So this is where you're coming from, or it could be, if that's where you're coming from, that's fair enough. This could be your perspective though, so this could be what you want. You want a new start, a new relationship, a new commitment. This could be you wanting that, you wanting to go toward that. You're saying, I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to work on the fears and the post-traumatic stress, number 9 of wands, work on that post-traumatic stress, because work through that energy this month, because actually I do want a new relationship. It could be that's your perspective. or as I said, if it's your past, it could be you came out of a committed, solid relationship and you're working through and, you know, finding how to be single or in dating or whatever it is for you. Okay, so this is your number 4 here. We've got love potential or love lesson for the month of March. This is a clarifier. It might be the other way around, actually. But anyway, let's have a look. We've got the Hermit. So I did just mention the Hermit, didn't I? That's because we've got the number 9. So let me talk a little bit more about the Hermit. The Hermit energy is number 9, as I said. On the Tree of Life, number 9 is foundation. That's what it's called on the Tree of 9. Foundation or Yesod, which is the... I was going to say Arabic, but it's not Arabic. What's it? What is it? Oh, the Jewish... Hebrew. Oh, that's it. Sorry, that was going to know me. It's the Hebrew letter. Yesod. But anyway, number 9 is foundation. So it's about what is within, where you're coming from, basically. Yeah? And as I said, it's linked to the sign of Virgo. It's the Hermit energy. Virgo is an earth sign. And Virgo is not representative of, but, you know, diligence. It's a sign of diligence, attention to detail, focus. So the Hermit energy is about, it's active, obviously, it's masculine. So it's about going within. It's about looking at what is within, looking at what you are afraid of, looking at what you are trying to achieve and why you are trying to achieve it, looking at why you are behaving the way that you are behaving or currently, and whether or not those behaviours are in... are linked, I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of anyway, are linked to your real emotions and what you're actually experiencing inside. So that's the energy of the Hermit energy. Because it's earth energy as well, I always link it to physical healing as well. So physical healing on an actual, you know, real sense. So it could be with the Hermit, love potential, love lesson. It could be that you're out of the picture. So you're wanting to get back out there and dating again. You're thinking about that, but currently you're not able to because you've got the flu, or you know your car's out of action, so you can't get out anywhere or whatever. Okay, so that's the Hermit. So it can be, you know, you can be isolated with the Hermit energy, but it's literally because you are actively saying, okay, let me work out what is going on. Let me try to find out why I am afraid and what I need to work on. So it might be, and it might be that you have to be ill in bed for a week in order for you to start realizing and questioning those things. Okay, so sometimes the universe gives with one hand, man. That's like the universe only gives with one hand, yeah, because that's all you need. You need what the universe says you need. Okay, so don't fear the Hermit. It's great energy. It's great energy. It can be confronting, but it's where you need to be. Okay, we've got this card here, another 9, so 999. I'm pretty sure 999 is challenges. I can't remember. I might look it up at the end. If not, I'll put it in somewhere. Someone asked me in the comments and I'll add it in the comments. What does 999 mean? Anyway, so 9 of Swords. I went through this the other night, actually. Oh, the 9, as I always say to you though, the 9 of Swords is what we need to see, because we start looking, we start noticing, we start realizing what is going on in our heads, the emotions that we're carrying around with us, the things that we tell ourselves. That is this energy. So it's important to see that we're shining a light on the fears, on the anxieties that you've got. Sword energy is about our thoughts, our minds, our clarity, our consciousness, our communication, what we say, what we think, what we allow ourselves to say, what we allow ourselves to think. So it's about communication, isn't it? What did I say to you? You know, Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So this is saying there is healing to be done when it comes to your emotions regarding a specific, either at the end of a committed relationship that you had, or in the fact that you haven't had a committed relationship and you want one. There is healing to take place before we can find the balance, the equilibrium that we need in order to move forward and gain that balance and stability. This could happen by the end of, if we look here, 28th of March, we've got Mercury going direct into Pisces. So it could be that by that time of the month, right, near the end of the month, we get that clarity. This is a month, though, where you are being confronted with the things that have been holding you back, being confronted with the things that have been causing instability. So it's important that you engage with it. You're being encouraged to engage with it. And if you don't choose to engage with it, the universe might just give you a nice little flu, or it might, do you know what I mean, might just engineer a few days off work so that you actually do face and see the things that have caused instability and the fear that's existed, and actually start to think about, okay, how can I work through that energy now? Okay, so that's really positive. You've got your challenge here. The challenge is the Page of Swords. I always say I link this energy, even though this is you, I link this energy to Virgo because it's about diligence. It's about being detail orientated, looking for answers, you know, finding things out. This is why, you know, I always say it links, for me, it links quite nicely to Virgo. So you've got this discernment coming through with the Page of Swords. You know, this is, you know, swimming in emotions with the Hermit energy, swimming in karmic cycles, past situations, parts of yourself that you think are fixed, but they are not. This is that energy. And you're doing that with your mind as well, clearing your mind. This could be you and how you're feeling. You know, with a page, it's like inner child stuff. It's like stuff that we... But it's 9 and it's 333. Look at that. With the page is its inner child stuff. It's stuff that we have not looked at, or have not addressed, have not thought about, have not spoken about for many, many years, because it was too difficult to address. It was too difficult to speak about. It was too difficult to even allow yourself to think about. You didn't want to admit that weakness to yourself, for example. And I did that for weakness. I don't see it as a weakness, okay? It's part of your learning. When you are ready to mature that part of yourself, that's what will happen. And that seems to be what's going to happen right now. You are really working on something that you have potentially been carrying around with you for some time. It's going to be different timelines for everybody, but especially when we see the Hermit energy, we know that we're digging deep here. We've got the diligence of Virgo, we've got the diligence and the focus and the energy of the Page of Swords in order to be detail orientated in uncovering and revealing and refining and understanding this fear and where it comes from. With you working through that this month. So that is, it's very positive, because as we said, this is the overall experience, energy or focus. It's about gaining that balance, and this is exactly what these cards are showing us you doing. This is really good. Excellent. We've got the 10 of Swords, and to clarify, we've got here. Now, this is the 10 of Swords. I've had this with Pisces a while, just a bit earlier today. The 10 of Swords, again, thoughts, mind. It's your energy. You know, thoughts, clarity, you know, reasoning, you know, all those type of things, communication. And the number 10 is the end of a cycle. It's the major arcana, the minor arcana equivalent of death. And believe me when I say it does feel the same energetically to experience. I said to Pisces, I had an experience a few months ago. I'm still traumatized. But what it does, so the example I gave in that video was, you know, even though it's not related to love. So for example, the example I gave in the video is, I had this business plan for Key Wisdom Tarot, wasn't called Key Wisdom Tarot. In the first year of teaching, I knew I don't want to do teaching. This was over 15 years ago now, or whatever it was, you know, 10 years ago, I can't remember. I didn't want to do teaching, so I planned this business, and I wrote it all out. And then for 14 years, this is what I did. What if I don't have enough money? What's going to say? I'm not going to be successful. People are going to say, I've got the qualifications. I can't do it. I can't leave my job as a teacher. And I'm thinking of all these things. Eventually, you've gone through all that. I'm going to have no money. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. Either you stay a teacher or you start your business. This is where you're at. You've gone through, I can't trust anyone anymore, and and all men are liars, and all women are bitches, and and this is how they are, and how relationships go, and I'm used to being on my own, and what. Either you're gonna be in a relationship or you're not. You're in or you're out. You're dating or you're staying single. So you've thought and thought and thought about this, Pisces, Gemini, for enough time now. So the 10s are, yes, they've got the number 1. The opportunity for the new beginning is here for you. Take it. And don't wait the 14 years like I waited. But this is what is coming now. You have got the opportunity in March to put an end to that and say, right, I thought every eventuality this is going to happen and what's going to say, and all men are liars and all this, that, and all men are cheaters and I can't this, and I've got no money, and whatever. Either you're in or you're out. You choose. That's the 0 of the number 10. That's the portal. You've got to choose to cross that. And you've gone from the 7, the 8s, the 9s, and the 10. So you know that progress is here. It is time for you to start now. Let's have a look at this energy. Yes, it is time for you to start now. Be confident. Yeah, it's new to you, Page, inner child stuff. I'm not sure I can do it. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to go for it. That's exactly where I was this time last year when it was my business. It was like, I've thought and thought and thought and thought and thought and thought and thought. I'm scared, but I'm going for it. That's what you've got to, that is where you've got to be. This is your advice. Your advice is go for it. Your advice is, you've thought about it long enough now. Whether you're in it, whether you're married and you want to get divorced, whether you're single and you want to be dating, whatever your individual situation is, you've thought about it long enough. You've thought through every eventuality. Your advice is, you need to go for it. And yeah, your knees are shaking because you've been in one situation for so long, which actually, is it really what you wanted? Were you really being authentic? I don't know. I don't think so. Not when I see the Chariot. So you need to, you live in your life for you. Listen, I always say this to people. Who's going to make you happy? Who's going to bend over backwards to make sure that you're well looked after, that you're feeling good? Who's going to do that? Everyone's got that for themselves. Everyone's got to do that for themselves. It's your responsibility. Your happiness is your job. Your joy is your responsibility. So you can. I mean, as I said, I did it for 14 years. So I ain't no free. I did that for 14 years, man. I was like, thinking, well, this and this and this. I've got a great job as a teacher. I get paid the money. I've got my pension. I'm in this relationship, which is stable. I've got a mortgage. And I just left it all. I left the house. I left the man. I left the job. And I went for it. So for you guys in love, this March, that's what you've got to do. It's a new situation. It's a new way for you to live when it comes to love. So whether you know what your individual situation is, and it's saying, and it might be that you've just been on the outs with your partner, for example, you've been arguing, whatever. This is like saying it's time to make your decision and to move in the direction you want to go in. Even if it's scary, even if you don't feel like you're ready for it, you need to go. You need to do it. You need to decide. You need to cross over that threshold. And, I'm drawn back to this card at the end, at the bottom, victory. Going towards success, moving towards success, okay? So, my darling Geminis, I hope you like that reading, my darlings. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Please leave me your comments. I always read your comments. I respond to most of the comments as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You'll get and click the bell. You'll get notifications of my new uploads. My next uploads will be next week, which will be your week in brief. If you want any further information about individual tarot cards, mindfulness, meditation, etc., check out the Key Wisdom playlist. And don't forget that the astrology for the month of March is below. You can read that at your leisure, my darlings. And finally, your bi-weekly general readings up to the 5th of March are still available to view. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. And did I say you can share this video? Share this content, my darlings. Share it on your social media, your WhatsApp, your Facebook, etc. Okay, my Geminis, thank you so much for being here. This is a lovely reading for you. And I really, really hope that, you know, by the end of March, you're in a much more stable place and feeling far more confident, having learnt a lot about yourself and about how you feel, which we know can be unsteadying. But by the end of it, you're ready to move forward toward, if that's what you're looking for, the relationship that you want, because that's some of your perspective. Okay, thank you so much for being here, my darlings. Have a fabulous March, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care, my Geminis. Bye.